All right, everybody. We are back. Fresh Takes, Russo and Felice. I am, of course, Paul Russo. Across from me, as always, the man, the myth, legend himself, Light who just got in, Nick Felice. Nick, how you doing? How you feeling?
Yeah.
Been a few days since I've seen you, you know.
Yep. I hopped on Kurt Herbstreit's flight in, so he dropped me off here, so that was nice. Feeling good, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Your name is on the show.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks here, then I got a week off-ish, so I'm excited with Thanksgiving coming around. So yeah, I just got to get through these, and then Thanksgiving, and then high school basketball after that.
Yeah. High school basketball starting next Monday, technically, but the official stuff. So looking forward to that,
I'll just go out and say it. I mean, I'm a fan of all the sports, but my favorite is out of high school sports. My favorite is basketball.
All right. Well, it's the one that we obviously care a lot about, over here at Finger Lakes One. So looking forward to that. I know. Sounds like you're coming back on board. So
yeah.
When you can and
be
whatever.
more. I'm going to be more like Bill Walton this year. As long as you're my Dave Pash, and should be fun.
The issue is I'm kind of looser than Pash a little bit. I feel like, but.
Yeah, it should be fun. They get into the gyms.
It's certainly gonna be fun. Obviously, we'll probably discuss more on that in a soon to be podcast.
I'd like to look back once we do one game this year. I'd like to look back at how we did 2 years ago to now, because obviously.
Well, the main problem is we don't have anything last year to base off of. So
obviously, I know the game a little bit better.
Yeah.
So.
We'll have some fun, though. Speaking of fun, tonight's topics may not seem like a lot, but a lot to get to with each, so we'll have to jump right in. The footballs, we'll start in college this week. Go to the NFL.
Spoiler alert, who won NASCAR?
Well, if you don't know by now. But, Kyle Larson. Touch on that a little bit. But, college basketball tip-off day, so we'll preview that. That'll probably be really the bulk of the show, if you will. So,
the Veterans Day edition.
Yeah. Should we announce? We'll wait until after the podcast. Wait until the end of the show to announce the big personal news between us.
Yes,
because you brought it up. You brought up Thanksgiving, so we'll,
Yeah. Obviously, there's only like 10 people in the entire town of Niagara Falls that cares about this news, but it is breaking.
It is big news, especially since I'm part of the front office of this group.
Stay tuned.
Yep. That's what we call a teaser. Anyway, college football, pretty nutty week in the grand scheme of things. We really had a bunch of upsets, but really the two main ones that had big playoff implications were Wake Forest and Michigan State, both getting upset.
Surprise, Michigan State.
Wake with UNC tanked my Saturday afternoon. And then, Michigan State, Purdue seemed to be the one that everybody was on, like you kind of alluded to, Nick, a little bit. I think Purdue became the first school ever to defeat, I don't know if it was back-to-back top five, but top five opponents by double digits in the same season as an unranked team.
Really?
Something like that. Like I just said, one of those really weird, nutty, one of those like hashtag stats that matter type thing. The Big Ten now has just become a bit of a cluster as well. So who knows what's really going on there. I know they're announcing the playoff rankings right now as we speak. I don't know update-wise, but we'll kind of get through that because they kind of do it weird, and they're doing it weird in between the basketball games going on tonight. So we'll figure that out.
I'm intrigued to see if Cincinnati drops.
Yeah, they won. I don't know what else they really have to do at this point. They won ugly against Tulsa. But Tulsa was a team that the college football committee was high on in their preseason. So I don't know what they're going to really think of that. Probably be a situation play it by ear. But I don't know what Cincinnati's going to have to do at this point. I don't know what some of these teams have to do at this point. Kind of like what I alluded to, the past couple weeks, right? Alabama still is probably the number 2 team at worst in the country, even though they do have a loss. They outlast LSU. That game is always kind of close, nip-tuck type deal. It's one of those really weird rivalries that you don't understand why it's kind of a rivalry until you kind of look at stuff. And plus, obviously, it's been deeper since Saban came over as head coach for Alabama, more or less after coming right over from LSU. A lot of people want to skip over the Dolphins era, and I don't blame them.
They shouldn't, though.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, Notre Dame picks up, in my mind, a very good win against Navy. Navy's a team that's been playing tough. They played Cincinnati pretty much right down to the wire for the most part. Be interesting there. And Ohio State survived Nebraska. So like I said, kind of going back to the Big Ten a little bit, chaos there abound. Nick, anything really main part for you college football-wise this past weekend? You mentioned probably the biggest one of it all is what are they going to do with Cincinnati at this point?
Yeah, I'll touch on Cincinnati in a second. I'm not surprised about Purdue. Purdue's done this before. It was a few years ago. They beat Ohio State. I think they were top 5 in the country.
Yeah.
Something like that. And when they beat these top teams, they destroy them too. And Purdue is you don't want to go into Purdue as a top 5 team because they're a pesky little bunch. But Cincinnati, I think we didn't learn anything from Cincinnati this week. There's rumors that they might drop because they barely beat Tulsa.
Well, I will break in. We do have the update.
Oh, we have breaking news.
Like I said, I wasn't too sure how they were going to update this during it. Georgia 1, Alabama 2, Oregon still at 3, Ohio State 4, Cincinnati 5, Michigan 6. It's your top 6.
Interesting.
Yep.
Michigan's still there. Notre Dame needs a lot of help, which sucks because they're right there as well. I'm sure they're just a couple spots behind them. But they need a lot of help. They don't need help from Cincinnati. They need Cincinnati to keep winning because that is their lone loss this season. If Cincinnati loses to one of these mediocre squads they got left on their schedule, that is definitely probably it for Notre Dame. So they need Cincinnati. They need Ohio State to lose again. Could be the Big Ten championship game. Could be Michigan, but that would jump Michigan unless they lose before. So there's a lot on the line these next few weeks. It's going to be tough to knock out Alabama, Georgia. I feel like Georgia could lose the way they've played so far. They could lose probably twice, which they're not gonna. But they could lose twice, and that would take them to knockout. So they're definitely in. Alabama, you need to eliminate them 5 times to get them out. They're not going anywhere. So there's only 2 spots, in my opinion. And I see Oregon losing. I see that coming eventually. I don't know who. I don't know when. But Oregon's going to lose, and they're not going to make it. Ohio State's probably going to make it, which leaves Cincinnati. It's going to get wild if Michigan beats Ohio State in the last game of the regular season. That's a huge if because that's never happened in the Harbaugh era. But Cincinnati, I think, is, even though everything has gone not in favor of them so far in the 2 weeks of the college football rankings, but they're fine. If they just went out, I think they can get in because, Paul, your favorite word, chaos is going to happen outside of Georgia, Alabama.
Chaos ball, baby.
So I'm looking forward to the next few weeks to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, so next week, this upcoming week, however you want to technically kind of call it, right off the bat, we kind of get chaos ball in essence, right? Thursday night this week, UNC at Pitt. I don't know if UNC's will be able to replicate what they did with Wake Forest against Pitt, but Pitt definitely has holes that you can kind of prod into and stuff like that. I haven't been sold on Pitt, but again, UNC. I really do feel like that win against Wake is a bit of an anomaly almost with them to a degree. That team's been confusing all year. All right, so other than that, the other major games, major players of the weekend. Game day is in Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss hosting A&M for Saturday. Okay. So that's where game day is. I'm with it. I mean, at that point, here's kind of the other major games this week. There's a lot of head-to-head ranked-wise, so Michigan at Penn State. They've already been to Penn State once. They've done Penn State and Michigan once each. Oklahoma's at Baylor 4-18.
Ooh, Michigan's at Penn State, you say?
Yeah.
Upset alert. Guarantee.
All right, we got a Barkley guarantee. Other than that, Oklahoma, Baylor, I believe they've been at one each of their games so far this year. Obviously, Red River. I think Baylor, I can't remember. Maybe they haven't done Baylor yet. I don't know. They might be saving Baylor, though, for another matchup coming up. NC State, 21st in the country against Wake Forest.
What's Wake now?
13th in the AP. So you had that.
Is Cincinnati still high in the AP?
They're second in the AP.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And they they're on the road against South Florida Friday night. South Florida's been playing tough the past couple of weeks. South Florida's got a really good run game. They're very sneaky. They're top third in the nation when it comes to running. So Cincinnati's going to win, but that's an interesting backdoor cover situation. But different discussion on that. So yeah, those are pretty much the major games in terms of that. Minnesota, Iowa is going to be interesting to watch. For probably all the wrong reasons. I don't know. Again, those are two teams I don't know what to make of.
Yeah, Paul, that sounds like a boring week.
Notre Dame, Notre Dame's at Virginia. That's a big game on the road for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Cuse is on the road at Louisville noon on Saturday.
You going?
One more game. No, it's in Louisville. One more win for Cuse to go bowling. I don't know if they get it done this weekend. Louisville's going to be a tough game. Louisville is one of the more rowdier places in the country to go play, and they're retiring Lamar Jackson's jersey number this weekend. So, going to be especially rowdy.
And big game this weekend as well. Cortica is this weekend.
Oh,
the Cortica Jug is back up for grabs.
Who is hosting this year?
I honestly don't know.
Well, we know where it's being played next year. Anyway.
Yeah, it's
Yankee Stadium.
Didn't they do that just a couple years ago?
They were at MetLife.
I'm going to have it in 2 seconds here. It is at Cortland this year.
You going?
I am not going. But I think Ithaca will win.
All right.
And, yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the NFL. Again, try and get through the football stuff here kind of quickly so we can get to Nick's favorite topic of the year, really. To be fair, I don't think Nick gets more hyped for college hoops than anybody I know, but NFL Week 9.
I'm making my brackets.
This was an ugly week of football, to put it bluntly.
The Bills played great.
Yeah, Bills dropped an ugly one, to put it bluntly. It was some awful line play. Josh Allen...
Which Josh Allen?
Buffalo's Josh Allen. Kind of reverted back to rookie Josh Allen for Buffalo, and did not look the greatest. That being said, it's hard to do a lot when your line's just pretty much collapsing around you. I don't know if there's a lot of bright spots for the Bills in this game. They're tough to grasp. The defense played extremely well, all things considered. When he was able to get the ball to him, Diggs looked pretty peak in terms of his abilities. I think that's pretty much it. I think, you just got to come out and put two. If you're the Bills and you want to be the Super Bowl contending team that you think you are, and really that you probably are, they're about as good as anybody overall in the AFC still. You got to do better than that against Jacksonville. And look, I know Jacksonville's been playing better. I'm one of the people who have said it, especially the past couple of weeks. Jacksonville's been playing better, but that was still a game you should have won.
Did you take Buffalo minus 14.5?
I did not. I actually stayed away from that game. That being said, I heard that was a game that tanked pretty much a certain survivor pool. So
yeah, really.
Yeah.
I will.
Well, it was one of two games that tanked a certain survivor pool. Let's talk about Dallas-Denver really quick, Nick.
Yeah, well, I'll say I'm not brokenhearted by Dallas and Buffalo losing in Week 9. I'm still telling you, Paul. If it's Dallas and Buffalo, the Super Bowl, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I'm not doing it. You're not making me watch it. Don't tell me the score. I won't want to know. If it's Buffalo and Dallas in the Super Bowl, I'm not watching. But anyway, I digress to Week 9 of the NFL season. It was an ugly one.
By the way, I'm going to toss this to you quick just so you have it, but the Titans didn't really need Derrick Henry.
True. My brother, I was watching the game with my brother. He was making some good points in that game. It's not like Matthew Stafford is this elite quarterback. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. But there are times when he doesn't play well. We saw that in Detroit. You can't blame it all on the team. Matthew Stafford has shown signs of weakness every game in here and there. And on Sunday night was one of them against the Titans. And I think the Titans defense won that game. Ryan Tannehill, jury's still out on him if he's a great quarterback. I personally don't think so. But, we'll see. It's one game. I think in the long run, losing Derrick Henry is going to hurt this team. But I don't know who the favorite. I think I said this last week. I don't know who the favorite in the AFC is. No idea.
I think I'm still kind of leaning Baltimore at this point. I mean, I don't know.
See, you don't know. Are you going to put all your money on Baltimore?
No.
No.
To be fair, I don't know if there's a true favorite in the NFC either quite yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that one you can lean Tampa Bay.
Yeah. You can.
And I don't blame you for leaning Tampa Bay. Like, I think that's where I'm kind of leaning.
Yep.
But to me, it's a little bit more... The AFC is certainly a little bit more open in that regard. Anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say Green Bay. I mean, they lost against the Chiefs in Week 9 with Jordan Love making his first start. But Aaron Rodgers is a big loss. I'm still you can't judge Love on a tough road game. I know the Chiefs have been struggling. It's still a game at Arrowhead. You can't judge the kid on one game in Arrowhead.
You, Aikman.
Yeah, in Arrowhead. So, I'm not saying... They were saying, like, he's never going to be like Aaron Rodgers. Give him time. Give him some more games. You know what? Aaron Rodgers, he's won one Super Bowl. Been to one Super Bowl. Let him go. Let him walk. They'll move on. Sure, he's a great player. But, I don't know. It's a weird situation with Green Bay. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the reason they don't win the Super Bowl this year. And not because of what he does on the football field. Too many distractions.
Big NFL pretty much dropped about as big a hammer as you can get at the moment on them today.
But the Giants aren't dead. They're still in the hunt for the division title.
Big bye week for them. Kind of get everybody injury-wise healthied up a little bit. Booker I know he tweaked the body up a little bit.
There's rumors Barkley might be back.
And, Barkley technically should be back when you think about it, but,
I thought Odell would have had a team today, but...
Well, today was waiver day, so,
Is Nick Chubb playing this week?
Don't know. He tested positive for COVID, but he does have the vaccine, so he would just need to test negative twice before the game. I don't know. If not, better get your waiver claims in for D'Ernest Johnson again.
I still got him. That would be cool.
A couple of my leagues, people dropped him, so I'm not going to say if I've claimed him or not, just in case.
I got a bunch of running backs since Henry went down, so I'm just keeping them all.
Before we move on to picks quick, because like I said, I want to keep the train moving today with with college hoops. Quick thought. I mean, this is obviously becoming the main topic, but any thoughts on the referees here? Last night
I did not catch last night's game.
Last night was a very glaring.
But I heard something about taunting penalties.
Yeah, there was. I mean, the taunting one is, they need to figure that out. Especially if you're going to be in the pocket with DraftKings and FanDuel and, BetWin and BetMGM and Caesar.
I did hear DraftKings.
So.
This is another off note. I heard DraftKings is allowing mobile betting here soon.
Well, they were one of the books that got approved. I can't remember the exact number. I haven't read anything fully
I think
yet.
First of the year.
But we'll see. We'll see. I know the way it sounds, they want to get things going in theory by the Super Bowl. It sounded like for a while they wanted to have the Super Bowl be their big, no pun really intended with this, but their big kickoff of it. And if kind of like how they did the physical books initially,
maybe
with the
we'll
start of football.
Maybe in the long run we'll be live betting some 7:00 games so we can catch the finish before pod ends.
Right. Never know. I mean, it's weird. I'm not going to dive into a bunch of other stuff right now, but it's an interesting landscape right now in mobile betting spaces, just based on a couple companies that have popped up within the past year in the daily fantasy side of things. Are doing some like prop-y-esque bets that you can do that kind of fly under the radar.
Yeah.
But that's a different discussion.
I don't remember what we were talking about. But.
Yep. So we'll move into the picks side of things. Thursday night football this week. Ravens at Dolphins.
Ravens at the Dolphins. Gonna be a good one if you're a Ravens fan because they're gonna win that game.
Yep. I'm going Ravens as well. Sunday, first of the 1 o'clocks. Saints at Titans.
Saints lost last week, right?
They did. They falconed against the Falcons.
They're gonna win this week because Titans. I'm not trusting them. I trust them.
Okay, I'm gonna go Titans.
Okay. I'll Larry David you. Okay.
I'm just sick of the Taysom Hill crap.
Okay.
Bills at the Jets.
Bills at the Jets. Oh, as much as I would love to see Buffalo lose again to another terrible team
against Josh Johnson.
But there is no other Josh Allen on this team, so I'm going to go with Josh Allen of the Bills.
Same. Bills as well. Lions at the Steelers. Lions coming off their bye week.
Lions, the winless Lions.
Yep.
Will they have a win by Thanksgiving?
Well, will they?
They're not going to have one this week. I got Pittsburgh.
Everything in me says take the Lions. Steelers have not looked good at all. Steelers not looked good against the Bears last night.
Well, Paul, whoever's telling you that is definitely the devil on your left shoulder.
Big Ben looks like a literal like refrigerator, not William Perry, like an actual refrigerator trying to move.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, they'll probably end up squeaking it out against the Bears, so I'm taking the freaking Steelers.
All right. Okay.
Buccaneers at Washington. Give me TB12 and the Bucks.
Give me Tampa in a close one.
I don't think it's going to be close. Jaguars at the Colts.
I got the Colts. I'm not a fan of the Colts. I don't think they're very good, but I got them this week.
I'm with you. This is going to be, I think, a very ugly game again. Maybe not like quite like, their last game against the Bills for the Jags, but I mean, that defense is playing good.
Jacksonville?
Yeah, it's kind of back in a weird way. But I'm going Colts. I'm with you.
It's weird that Saxonville has returned.
That's not a very confident pick of that.
It's weird that Saxonville has returned quicker than the Legion of Boom.
It's true. Damn, sniper in here. Browns at New England. Give me the Brownies.
Why, Paul? Because New England is only a half game back of the division right now.
I mean, the Browns.
I believe they're a current playoff team, and Bill Belichick, an ex-Browns coach, is coaching like he wants to win a Super Bowl this year. Mac Jones, dirty play? I'm not sure. I personally think he thought that guy had the ball. But he did it, and it looked like a dirty play. I don't know. Let the NFL deal with that.
Yeah.
Have they dealt with it yet?
No. I haven't seen anything. I feel like they've been a little bit busy elsewhere this week.
I'm going Patriots in this game.
Yeah. Falcons at the Cowboys.
Going Falcons. Falcons are playing well. I think the Cowboys, Dak look a little rusty. I don't know what's going on in Dallas. I don't think Dallas will ever be a top seed in the NFC.
It sounds like you got a little bit of vengeance in you.
Giants are not done in this division.
That's not what I was talking about.
Done in this division. Dallas is going to have another slip up this week. Cool. Atlanta, Matt Ryan.
Cool. I'm going to take the Cowboys here.
Okay, I'll remember that. I'll remember that.
We enter the late window of games, 4:05 Panthers at the Cardinals. Sam Darnold out for a while with a broken, fractured shoulder, I believe, or something going on with that. So I think even with Colt McCoy, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Colt McCoy, very underrated.
Yep.
Probably one of the best backups of all time.
Yeah.
I got the Cardinals in this one. I don't know if James Conner's going to have the week he had last week, but I got the Cardinals in this game.
Vikings at the Chargers.
What's up with the Chargers? You
You could say the same with the Vikings after last week.
Well, we know what's up with them. They're Minnesota. They're not going nowhere. They do have a good running back in Dalvin Cook, but
in the news tonight, I don't know if you've seen that, but I won't really get into that at the moment.
Something with Dalvin?
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
We got some domestic violence stuff going on, apparently.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Quite literal he said, she said stuff.
Well, we've seen distractions hurt teams, so I'm going, who do they play? The Chargers. Chargers get the win.
I'm on Chargers as well. 4:25, Eagles at the Broncos.
The Broncos. Broncos have been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're better off without Von Miller right now. And I think they're going to beat the Eagles at home.
I'll take the number 2 rated ESPN fantasy quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and his Eagles.
Oh, we got Matthew Berry over here.
Somebody doesn't like when somebody gets fantasy stats thrown in their face.
Yater's gonna yate.
Game of the week: Seahawks at Packers. Russell is back. Aaron Rodgers might be.
I was looking forward to Geno Smith versus Jordan Love, but if Rodgers is back, it's going to be a great game.
Damn, I was really looking forward to Travaris Jackson versus Seneca Wallace.
Travaris Jackson, didn't he pass away?
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Pour one out.
Yeah. I don't know. My brother told me a stat yesterday. Russell Wilson era, 4-0 all the time against the Packers at home. 0-4 at Lambeau.
Well, time to break the streak.
I got the Packers in this game.
I'm on Seahawks. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs at Raiders.
Las Vegas, always a good show. Chiefs are struggling. This ain't their division this year. I got the Raiders in this one.
I'm on Raiders as well. They opened as a home dog. I'm taking the home dog. Monday Night Football, in theory, should be a decent game, actually, for a change. Rams and 49ers.
No. 49ers are terrible.
In theory.
The 49ers are terrible. The Rams are coming off a bad loss, in my opinion, without Henry. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rams as well. All right, Nick. As I said, it is pretty much your favorite time of year. We get into the meat and potatoes of this episode for today.
Not my favorite time of the year. My favorite season. My favorite time of the year is March Madness.
Whatever.
Not November Madness.
You know what I mean. College basketball's back. Tipped off tonight. Games already going on. Craziness already going on. Pitt lost to the Citadel. It's glorious times.
March.
Already. Akron should have beat Ohio State. I'll say it.
Ohio State always almost loses, and then they lose.
Hughes with a nice victory over Lafayette.
The Lafayette Leopards.
Yes. Easton, Pennsylvania, also in Eastern Pennsylvania. A lot of trip over words there going on. Easton, Pennsylvania, home of Crayola. Fun fact.
Really?
Yeah. And Easton, like baseball.
Good to see fans back at the Dome for a basketball game.
But either way, not why we're here in this regard, but season's back. I'm excited. Means we got our late night Pac-12 After Dark madness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about a little bit inadvertently, right? Pash, Walton, you got the characters all back. College basketball, there's something just different about college basketball that separates it from the rest. I don't know if it's that true intimacy you have inside a dome or arena or gym, whatever you want to call it, where everything's on the line. It's great, it's cool, and it's where the true underdogs can have a shot.
Yep.
So, Nick, I turn it over to you, but my opening question to you is, don't you miss the 24-hour marathon?
Absolutely. Yeah, fun fact about me, the season used to start. Just not that long ago. The season used to start on a Friday. before this Tuesday. Now it starts now. The Tuesday used to be the first Tuesday of the season. Used to be a 24-hour college basketball marathon, which was it started like the night before, all the way to the next night to this classic that they have tonight with the 4 good teams there. And I used to skip school every single year. I'll say it right now. I skipped school every single year for that college basketball marathon.
You rebel.
Mm-hmm. Never went to school that day. Stayed home, watched it all. I will admit, when I got to about the afternoon, when school started, and they still had these games on, I got a little tired. I might have changed the channel a couple of times, but I turned it back when the big game started. But I was there at 6 a.m. watching those games. But yeah, I love college basketball. I'm a little biased towards, well, as a Notre Dame fan, and I don't mind Syracuse, but I'm a little biased towards the Big East and now the ACC. For ACC, we've been there since 2013.
Pretty much a decade. I mean,
2013, 2014 was the first year.
Yeah, this is our 9th full season, I believe.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's been that long already. So I'm loyal to the ACC, and there's just something about the best game of the whole week, I personally think. As much as I love college basketball Saturdays, which, don't get me started, I have been, not happy these last few years that they've taken away the 9 p.m. Saturday college basketball game on ESPN, and now it's at like 6 o'clock now because they got to get the NBA regular season game in there. And I like the NBA, but when they did that, I was upset, and I'm still upset that they took away the 9 p.m. big-time college basketball game on Saturday. But that's another story. One of my favorite games of the week is always the 7 p.m. Big Monday game. That's always a classic. You got some of the best teams in the ACC playing every Monday. It just, it starts off your week. Sometimes they have a big game on the Saturday before. Then you get prepared 2 days later for a game on Monday. So that's always tough. It's always interesting. Do not care for the 6 p.m. ESPNU Sunday games, but those are terrible. It's just, I love non-conference play. I love the tournaments at the beginning of the year. Notre Dame trying to win back-to-back Maui Invitationals this year, so we're going to do it. Syracuse in the battle for Atlantis, another good one as well. So I definitely like the preseason tournaments. I like the idea that conference play has started before the first of the year now. I did not like when, Syracuse hosted Virginia at the Dome the first game of the season.
That was a great game, though. I was there.
Didn't Syracuse score 34 points that game? The same as Cole Anthony? Because he played
Okay, look, to be fair, this is coming from a very biased perspective. I got to be in the executive suite that game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was tremendous.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they got rid of it.
I mean, I agree with you in principle, but,
I'm glad they got rid of that the first game of the season. I like that, they play in December now, a couple games. And then
I think December 4th, at least for Syracuse, is their first.
And then you get, once January gets going, then you start your conference play. And I like that there's 20 games. I want the ACC to do good in non-conference. You have mentioned a couple upsets. Not happy about that.
I'm thrilled that Pitt lost to the Citadel.
I am not thrilled. I am rooting for the ACC because the ACC needs to be the best conference again, not the Big Ten. The Big Ten, yet to win a national championship since 2000, Michigan State. Enough of them. I am tired of their respect. We need at least 8 to 11 teams again this year to make the tournament. We need it. So I'm rooting for the ACC until conference play comes, obviously. So root for them. It should be fun. I love March Madness, obviously. And then, of course, the storylines this year. Paul was shedding a couple tears before the show here today. Realizing that it was Coach K's final season. Final season at Duke. What a legend. Didn't cheat once. Didn't ever get caught. But, there are Duke fans who praise this man. He's obviously a great player. Like Grayson Allen comes to mind. Syracuse fans have their opinions on Grayson Allen. I'm not a huge Duke fan. But a lot of my family's Duke fans, and then your brother's a UNC fan. So.
University of No Classes, yeah.
So it's they're probably going to be the top of the ACC again. So that's one storyline. Coach K's final season. Obviously, Gonzaga could probably run the tables again if they just stay strong. They probably could be undefeated once again in the national championship. And then, what's Baylor going to do? Who is the best conference? Stuff like that. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, top 25 not going to stay the same. There's going to be teams that have struggles this year and teams that, are going to surprise some teams this year. Maybe Syracuse is one of them. They got the Boeheim brothers now, both starting. I will say Buddy Boeheim is definitely one of the more popular players in college basketball. Mm-hmm. Definitely if he shoots well this year.
Both him and Jimmy had solid games tonight.
Yeah? What are your thoughts on Syracuse after the big win over Lafayette?
I think for me it's more of an encapsulation of the ACC as a whole. And I know people don't think this way this year. I know a lot of people are kind of hopping on the Coach K conspiracy bandwagon because it's his last year. ACC in my mind is pretty wide open this year. And to me, if you're going to give an edge to anybody, you just kind of have to give it to Virginia kind of out of principle almost. Look, I think the Syracuse team's going to be better than a lot of people realize. Do I think that they're going to be national champions? No, not by any means. But, look, if Boeheim rolls an 8-man rotation consistently, that's going to be, solid. And plus, I was, over the moon with how good Benny Williams looked tonight. Cole Swinder shot pretty well again tonight. Obviously, the Boeheim Bucket brothers looked really good. Joe Girard, I don't think he ended up perfect from behind the arc, but I know he's perfect in the first half. He looked good. Look, I get it's the first game of the year, but solid performance. And good base to build off of if you're Syracuse, a team that did get votes in the AP preseason. They got 5 votes. They got pieces there. I think they're going to be really good. Like I said, national championship, no. But certainly a team that probably should contest into at least the Sweet 16.
Yeah, you like to see them. You like to see them get a higher seed in the ACC this year,
right?
Because I don't think they've been.
I think as long as we get a first day bye, at least we'll be good.
Yeah, but double byes are the elite teams.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they've had a double bye since the very first year there when they had Tyler Ennis. Could be wrong, but you definitely want to not only get a higher seed in the ACC tournament, but also get a higher seed in the NCAA tournament. So,
what about Notre Dame? Notre Dame did pick up a couple votes in the AP preseason.
Yeah, they were the last team to have votes.
I think they got 3. Yeah, they got 3. Them, BYU, and Louisville all got 3.
Yeah,
But I think this is a nice turning the page. Like I said, with the ACC being in my mind wide open this year, it's a perfect team situation for Notre Dame. I don't mean to bash them, but nobody really jumps out theoretically on paper for them as saying that guy's going to do whatever. But a team like that's somebody you do have to worry about because they play really well together, and that usually means that they're more well-rounded as a team, which plays well the deeper you go into the season.
Yeah, obviously it's a make-or-break year for Mike Bray. He's definitely got to show something with this team this year. Mm-hmm. It's a senior class that's never made an NCAA tournament as well. They haven't made it since 2017 when I was in college.
Is that why you feel it's make-or-break finally from Bray?
Yeah, I still – don't get me started. Don't get me started on it. I still feel like we should have made it in 2018 over Syracuse. Over Syracuse when we went in the Dome and beat them, and we – did it again a few years ago, but that's another story. But we really haven't had a chance since that 2018 season that we just missed out on. So, this is a senior group that's been here a while. Prentice Hub, expecting a big year out of the lefty. Nate Leszewski, obviously, I think is going to even take a bigger step this year. Then we got a couple transfers. I'm excited to get to see their first looks at it. Trey Wirtz was a transfer last year. So, just, try to see what the group's like. I haven't really gotten to watch them play. I did not catch the Nazareth game, the Nazareth exhibition game. But, I'm looking forward to watching them play on Saturday against CSU Northridge. So that should be a classic.
All right.
But it's just, they're like Syracuse. get through these first few games. Syracuse got Drexel on Sunday.
Yep.
Get through these first few games. Get that preseason tournament. We got the Maui. You guys got Battle for Orlando. So some of the better preseason tournaments.
So I was going to ask you this. Do we know, are those tournaments for sure happening in their given locales, or?
You know what? I don't know that.
I haven't seen any updates. And admittedly, I haven't really deep dived to look.
That's right. The Maui wasn't at Maui last year.
Yeah.
That whole last season was not a season, to be honest with me. There was people were skipping out on conference games. The non-conference was short. The tournament was played all in one same place.
Teams completely gave up on the season.
Yeah, players gave up on the season. It was just a wild year, and congrats to Baylor, but that was just a wild year.
All right, so let's do some predictions of sort here. Obviously, everybody's kind of leaning on the Gonzaga bandwagon, but to a degree still. But it's quite an interesting top 10. We'll only do the top 10 for sake of time purposes here, really. Gonzaga 1. Surprisingly, UCLA's at 2, but they bring back pretty much that whole team.
Yep. Which
probably really played a very big, heavy favor into that. Likewise, Kansas at 3. They returned a ton of people as well. Villanova at 4. Again, usual suspects. A couple guys transfer like Swinder. But, Jay Wright, I understand why people don't like Jay Wright. I get it. I don't really like him either, but you have to respect him. He's arguably, really especially the past 10, 15 years, probably the best college coach out there. I know it's going to be a hot take to some, but really for what it is right now, I don't know if I'd really go with anybody else. 5th, Texas. I don't know. Chris Beard there now going to be in a second full year. I don't know what. I don't think Texas is back. I don't get why people fall in love with Texas all the time. It is what it is.
They do it in both sports.
Yeah. Michigan at 6, Purdue 7, Baylor, your defending champions, at 8, Duke 9, Kentucky 10. It's this year's will be really interesting because, like I said, I think the ACC is wide open. And usually when that happens, I think you see a lot of your major conferences to a degree become wide open as a whole. Because of the way you talk about the preseason tournaments, Nick. Not preseason. This in-season tournaments is what we should really call them, right? The Mauis, the Battle for Atlantis. I don't think it's technically called the NIT anymore, but whatever the one at MSG is. I think it's the 2K, whatever. I don't know. And of course, there's a couple others sprinkled in, like the Atlantic City one, and the only team I see probably consistently being up at top all year, and I don't mean this as a knock at their conference, justified in this case, is Gonzaga. Mm-hmm. The only 2 teams in that, well, technically, I guess 3. The only 3 teams I see really in that conference hanging with them all year is going to be BYU. It's going to be Loyola Marymount. I don't know if Loyola Marymount's going to hang above 500 too much all that often. But they gave fits to teams last year, and they play really good core-wise together. And then obviously St. Mary's. St. Mary's always just kind of hangs around. It is what it is out in the West Coast Conference. I get it. Nick, you know me. I'm a big mid-major guy. I like the mid-majors. Your A-10s, technically Big East, right? Stuff like that. But you'll see, like I said, Villanova's at 4, but they'll probably dip a little bit at some point. The Big East this year is actually going to be probably very competitive. I think Seton Hall, sneaky great team. I think
they're my sleeper pick.
They're not. They didn't get put in the preseason top 25.
Kadari Richmond's on that team.
Yeah, but he doesn't even get minutes. But yeah, Seton Hall didn't even get any votes in general. So it's going to be interesting there. But St. John's is going to be poking around. UConn is back in the Big East for basketball. They're going to be good. I think they're like 23rd or something like that in preseason. But then you also have like your usual suspects, right? I mean, Providence will play you tough. Marquette's going to play you tough. Butler's going to play you tough for the most. Butler's going to be an interesting team this year. They tailed off really bad last year in conference play. They bring back pretty much everybody from the younger nucleus side of that team, so I'm intrigued to kind of see how they do. But, Xavier always just will nag you. I don't think they're going to be great this year, but they'll nag you. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Georgetown. I mean, Georgetown, at least on the Villanova side of things, is going to give you problems. So, obviously, like stuff like that. And then obviously, like the A-10, for instance, Bonaventure's ranked. They're good. Richmond's going to be good this year. Dayton's probably going to bounce back and be decent. Again, they'll probably be one of those hovering at 500 teams that'll just pester you until no end. But then, like I said, the A-10, you got other teams in there, like a Davidson that will play you tough, like a VCU that will play you tough, like a St. Louis that will play you tough. It's the beauty about those mid-majors. And so, I guess with that in mind, you alluded to one of your predictions already, so I'll just lead you into it. So what do you love about Seton Hall? Because to be honest with you, it's the same thing that I'm going to say more than likely. So
I forget the kid's name, but Jay Bill has put out rankings of top shooters this season. I saw a kid on Seton Hall was in the top shooter. Buddy Bam was also up there, and I have always been a huge fan of Kadari Richmond, and I think he should play more on that team. I thought he should have played more in Syracuse. I actually love the kid, and I think he's a great defender, and I think he could be an elite scorer. But, and they play in the Big East. You said there's a lot of teams that could give you fits in that league, but I don't know. I like them as a sleeper this year. They're always decent. I think a lot of those teams you mentioned, a lot of those Big East teams like Providence, Seton Hall, those type of teams, they've gotten better since we went to the ACC. Mm-hmm. And they've been in that conference. I think they've all gotten better. Yeah. And, Big East is always interesting. You seem to forget about it a little bit. I know you don't. You're a big Big East fan. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the experts seem to forget about them. Mm-hmm. And, they think of the Big Ten and the ACC and Kentucky and Florida leading the SEC or whatever. Even though the SEC has gotten better overall, and then Big 12. Probably you think it's going to be Kansas again, but Baylor's all there now. So, and then the Pac-12. They had a great tournament last year.
The Conference of Champions, Nick.
They had a great tournament last year, and you said UCLA going to be very good. I think they are going to be good. I would put them as my favorite to win it all this year. And so, whenever you get players like that, and you're great last year, and you get players to come back, that's tough to beat.
Yeah.
And I always say this.
Oregon is 13th, by the way, in the Pac. Another Pac-12.
I always say this. I take a team. I know it's early for bracket predictions and stuff, but if you find a school that has 5 starting seniors, I don't care if they're Radford. They have 5 starting seniors, and they're playing like Kentucky that starts 5 freshmen, talented freshmen. I'm taking the seniors because they just know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They're more built. They're older. They're experienced. Those are the dangerous teams. You find a team that has 5 seniors. There's some out there that have 5 starting seniors on their team. Small team. Watch out for them. That's what I would always say.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think that's the underrated part in, say, a team like Gonzaga, for instance. Like, people tend to forget. Like, and again, like, I get why you think they're not going to be great, but like they always have like the same core for the most part. Obviously, last year was going to be an anomaly because they finally did have a couple one and dones on that team, but I mean, you got that Timmy guy back, for instance. I mean, it's usually, with those teams you bring up, Radford's a good example. They had that run a couple of years ago where I think they only won in the first round, but they went on this tear, like nationally recognized, just like shooting lights out and stuff like that. I think that's why, like you bring up these smaller teams, and that's why they get more prominence now. This is the first time in a couple preseason polls where you look at, really, you start getting to like the bottom of it, right, with your Bonaventure, for instance. But then you look at the others receiving votes. Xavier received votes, not a huge surprise. Richmond received votes, not maybe a huge surprise. But then you see Colorado State got votes, Belmont got votes, San Diego State got votes, Drake got votes, BYU got votes. Like, I think people are recognizing, sure, the one and dones are great, and they are great. And look, 10 of the past 15 years, that's proved to be the case. But hey, maybe these teams that do have all these juniors and seniors are good, right? Like, I think they're finally recognizing in that just because you don't have the one and dones doesn't mean you're bad.
Mm-hmm.
It just means you have that different style, and there's nothing wrong with that different style. So,
yeah,
wide open. I can legitimately say I think this year as a whole it's wide open.
And that's what we like to see.
It causes the most chaos. We'll put it that way. It causes the most chaos. It causes the fun chaos of it.
Speaking of chaos.
Yeah. Well, quick prediction before we touch on Kyle Larson. Just give me the national champ. Who do you think? Way too early.
Obviously, I don't know the bracket, but I'm going to go UCLA over...
Oh, wow. You're giving me a team that they're playing?
Kansas.
Okay. Should I do this?
It's crazy to think that I picked a Pac-12 team to win it all, but...
God, should I do it? I'm going to do it.
Gonzaga Baylor.
Somewhere in the early 90s, I'm getting pats on the back for making this pick. I'm going to go Arkansas.
Okay.
Arkansas over Houston. Because why not? It's too early, and I don't know what the hell to make of this season.
Houston didn't look too good tonight. I was looking at
I don't know, Nick. It's, like I said, it's wide open. I don't know what to make, heads or tails. Anyway, touch on this before we get out of here quickly. Kyle Larson wins the NASCAR Cup Championship, capping off the redemption arc for him.
Houston,
go ahead.
Not to interrupt, Houston is up 79-71 over Hofstra with 45 seconds left in overtime.
Oh, so... the Fighting Wayne Krebets.
It's just to motivate him for the championship.
Anyway, Kyle Larson, redemption arc. Really cool to see. I know I'm one of the people that, I do believe in second chances, but to a degree, if you're not really remorseful, I don't know if you do deserve that second chance, but, he's shown to be remorseful for his actions. And he's done initiatives to prove that. So it's really cool to see. He's arguably the greatest talented drivers, really the past maybe 20 years. I mean, Tony Stewart puts him above him, puts Larson above himself. Jeff Gordon does the same. I mean, immense talent. Good for him, good for Hendrick. Special, number and scheme to the Hendrick family that Larson pretty much ran all year on his car.
He had 10 wins, didn't he?
He had 10 wins, most since... I don't know if it was like 2006. Actually, it might be deeper. It might be in the 90s. I know he led the most laps in a season since 1995. I mean, just flat out dominated.
He deserved to win it.
And yeah, exactly. I mean, the champion of the regular season actually won the playoffs, so it's cool.
Has that ever happened?
No gimmicks. I think technically, yeah, but they haven't really, they didn't track it up until a couple of years ago, and they actually gave points bonus if you won the regular season championship. Kevin Harvick, I think, technically would have done it in 2014 had they recognized the regular season champ at that point. It was either Harvick or Jeff Gordon that would have won the regular season title, but Harvick ended up winning the playoff in 2014. So, either way, really cool to see. Phoenix, great racing the whole weekend through all, really technically 4 series that raced there. The ARCA Menards Series West, one of the other feeder series, had their championship race there as well on Saturday afternoon. So great races across the board. Congratulations, Ben Rhodes in the trucks and Daniel Hemrick in Xfinity for their championships as well. Fox at the beginning of the year billed it to be the best year ever. Lived up to the hype for the most part, I thought. Really a lot of momentum to build into next year. We are 88 days away from the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. They're building a track inside the LA Coliseum to host the opening Clash race there, the exhibition race. And 102 days until the Daytona 500? Something like that. So,
where does he rank all time?
Kyle Larson? I mean, it's too early to tell yet. I mean, talent-wise, he's probably, top 20. But, if that was the case with everybody, then, maybe he's not top 20. Prime example of that would be a guy like Dick Trickle, who won borderline 1,000 feature races in different short track levels before he got really, it's not even a shot he got in NASCAR. He came as an injury replacement. That's a different story. But there's countless cases where, guys who were really good just never had a great shot or anything like that. There's a two-time then Busch Series champion and now Xfinity, obviously, named Tommy Ellis. Great driver, phenomenal driver. During his time at Xfinity, unknowing to everybody else, he knew what he was doing, gets busted for tax evasion when he finally gets a shot in Cup. So, there's different cases, different levels. Yeah, Larson's probably for sure at minimum top 50, though. But it's hard to tell. That's one part about when you have to rank truly in the present off of something like this, about somebody. So, in my lifetime, though, I'll say this. In my lifetime, Larson probably is top 10, just in terms of raw talent, raw speed. Look, he was pretty much poached out of dirt racing to come race in NASCAR, and it's paid off well so far. And in theory, this is probably just going to be the first of many championships for him, but that's the part of it. It's in theory. You don't know what sport. For all we know, that he could have won his last race ever at Phoenix next weekend, so
you just don't know.
Never know.
Congrats to him.
Mm-hmm. All right, Nick, we'll get out of here on that note then. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Oh, forgot to break the news.
Yep.
Look, as the general manager of this organization for the past several years, I've seen many great talents come through. And, Nick, I'm going to turn it over to you and let them know what that organization is.
Yeah, if you guys have ever heard of the SMS Club, it is on, what street's it on?
It's on Ovid Street.
Ovid Street. Ovid Street in Seneca Falls. Every year they have a Thanksgiving bocce tournament, Thanksgiving morning, and my team, the next generation, even though we're pretty old now. TNG for short. Yeah. My sister cannot play this year, and we have added Paul Russo to the team. How about that?
We're ready to roll.
Yeah, you've been a fan of the team since we were toddlers, but
as a owner of the team.
Yes, you are an owner of the team.
General manager.
Jerry Jones now of the team. But yeah, so our team, I'm the shooter of the team. I'm a below average shooter, but I am the shooter of TNG. Matt is the closer of the team. My cousin Jack, he's the role player, wild card, you could say. Mm-hmm. Paul, my sister was the starter. She's the one that throws the ball in.
Yeah.
Are you up to be the starter?
I may not have any other choice. I'm ready to.
How good is your Pauline throwing? Now throwing the bocce ball.
I'm not the best. Back when there was the youth league, I was the shooter.
Really?
So.
Well, maybe we'll have to practice to shoot.
It's all right. I'll be good. We'll figure it out.
Now, are you a fan of the green balls or the red balls?
It don't matter.
Okay. Yeah. So come on out, watch Paul make his debut at the SMS Thanksgiving morning.
I'm appreciative of the opportunity, Nick.
Yes, yes, we have signed you to a 1-year deal.
1-year entry-level contract.
Mm-hmm. Then you can sign elsewhere.
Yeah.
Show off your talent.
I'll be like the backup goalie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it's not, it's a double elimination tournament. Hopefully it's not, we played a 7, so hopefully it's not 14 points and out.
Yeah.
We did that a few years in a row there before we won our championship in 2016, but, yeah, it should be fun.
Now I can freely eat the breakfast pizza without feeling guilt.
Yeah. I don't think anyone felt guilt other than you, but yeah. Should be fun. We're expected to win. We have the 4th best odds to win it all, 10 teams. So, yeah.
All right, Nick, back to you. Who are you shouting out this week?
That's you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, the screen is on you.
Oh, I accidentally clicked me.
The screen is on
this
you.
This is incredibly awkward. I feel terrible.
No context needed. I'm just going to shout out Andrew Lucheski. I'll give a little context. I really don't have a shout out, but I will see Andrew in a few weeks coming to New York City after Thanksgiving.
No context.
So should be fun. I guess I added a little context. Shout out Andrew. Hope as well. Big fan of the show. And he's not in China anymore, so he's in Virginia.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Nick. We'll see you next week on here anyway. I'll see you before then.
Yep, 2 more weeks. Just got to get through these next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff for us in Finger Lakes 1. Watch some college hoops. We'll see you same time, same place next week or something like that. See ya.